South Dakota's largest farm show took place this week. More than 20,000 people make the annual trek to Mitchell for Dakotafest to learn, see, and connect through agriculture. One of the panel discussions at Dakotafest covered the prospect of a web of pipelines to carry excess carbon dioxide from 32 ethanol plants in the Midwest to a permanent home in western North Dakota. Mikkel Pates was in Mitchell and has more.
One of the big Dakotafest topics this year was carbon dioxide pipelines. They have big benefits for the ethanol industry, but some drawbacks for landowners.
I don't think for-profit companies should have the right to take your land from eminent domain.
Jay Poindexter farms and runs a cow-calf operation. He's among the landowners at the forum who expressed concerns about the pipelines. He's concerned about the companies taking control through eminent domain, but also about the safety of the pipeline.
I visited with a gentleman from Millette yesterday, and the pipeline runs 300 feet from his brother's house and 500 feet from their feedlot. If you had a rupture right there, nobody even ever know it. Just all you're going to do is collect the dead bodies.
Jim Paroli of Summit Carbon Solutions denies that there's any threats of eminent domain. In fact, so far they've signed hundreds of easements covering 700 miles.
We haven't threatened eminent domain on anyone. We haven't filed for eminent domain. That's a much different part of the process that's much later if we get there. Our focus is on acquiring voluntary easements.
The CEO of Glacial Lakes Energy says some of the co-op's 4,200 shareholders are also landowners affected by the pipeline, so they care about what happens along the route.
It is something that's top of mind for us, is how it's impacting folks. And so it's not like we just are focused on the margin side of it. Although that's the reason we want to stay in business. We want to make more money with a lower carbon fuel, so our shareholders and our producers that serve us can make more money.
One of the most well-attended events at Dakotafest is the South Dakota Congressional Forum. The upcoming Farm Bill was the topic.
I do think we want to update reference pricing. Clearly inputs are high. Updating reference pricing, asking whether or not there's some things we can do to crop insurance to make ad hoc disaster relief less likely, and then working with the broader livestock community to make sure that we're hitting the target with their risk management practices. We've moved in the right direction in the last couple of years, but I think there's still a sense from at least some of the groups that we got a little ways to go yet.
The payment limits on CRP acres haven't been increased since 1985, so it's a $50,000 payment limit today. Most other Farm Bill programs are at $125,000. So I think that's another way of opening up more demand for the program.
I don't mind having a CRP program that goes for 10 years, as long as there's some safety built into it so that if you do have a drought, you can still keep your foundation herd. You've always got to be able to maintain a cooperative effort with your conservation groups as well. Don't make it so easy that it's being used all the time, because then you lose the benefit that they're looking for, which is for wildlife production.
Another well-attended event was the Governor's Ag Innovation Forum. Governor Kristi Noem emceed the event. It touched on the progress of high-speed broadband in South Dakota, as well as new innovative ideas producers are using, such as automation in farming and ranching. One of those is using a virtual fence for grazing livestock.
We don't give cattle enough credit. They are very intelligent, and so it takes a couple days. You have to train them in a paddock that has real fence around it, just so they understand how the sound and the shock works. But we know where they are all the time. We can control their movement. Therefore, we can control how the grass is grazed and therefore how it grows, right? All with kind of the idea of ultimately making that acre more efficient.
Jorgensen is CEO of the largest seed stock operation in the U.S. This year, they'll market close to 5,200 bulls. For more stories from Dakotafest, check out Ag Week magazine or agweek.com.
Thanks for watching Ag Week TV on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out new videos every Saturday.